So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be doing a compilation video. But before I get into the topics on tonight's docket, let's do an update. First of all, this is my first video back in the 2024 new year. So happy new year, everyone. I hope that this new year brings you a new focus, new goals, new structure, new blessings, just new positivity. I know it's cliche and we say it every year, but I feel like for some people, a new year is always a restart or a refresher. And for me, it's definitely been that. I've spent the last month traveling. I've been to Dallas, Phoenix, Miami, and I just came back from Atlanta. So I haven't been posting much because I've been outside, but this has been more of a therapy trip than it was for fun, and I needed it. I'm sure a lot of you could tell that just mentally, I haven't been the happiest, especially at the tail end of 2023, and I'm really happy I took a step back from the pressure and stress of work and gave myself time. I do not have all the answers on how to cure or just treat mental health, but I am exhausting options that have been working for me. So that's just where I've been. But it is a new year and you will be seeing a lot from me. So I'm back. So on the docket tonight, we have Halle and DDG finally revealing that she did indeed have a baby and confirming the public speculation after months of honestly gaslighting and deflecting away from the obvious. I feel like both of these individuals are one and the same, like I've said several times before, and I do have a bone to pick with the situation overall. Next up is a reality TV insert about the show Baddies East on Zeus Network. The show has had so much commentary this season, and that's for many reasons, but as of recent, we have been seeing blatant bullying and a lack of sisterhood that is pretty alarming. One of the cast members named Smiley suffered what looked to be a seizure after consuming a lot of alcohol, and the responses from the cast members were so off-putting that I have to wake this up. And then lastly, Nicki Minaj dropped her highly anticipated album Pink Friday 2 back in December, and I've gotten a lot of requests to give my opinions and review of the album. I'm sorry I pushed this off, but y'all knew I was coming anyway, because Nicki Minaj to me is the top female rapper. I think this project reflected interestingly different than what people thought it would. Even though I love Nicki Minaj's music, I'll be honest about my full thoughts on PF2. So y'all know what to do. Label your comments to reflect each topic, or you can comment on all of them. I really do try to read all of the comments. Like, it's impossible, but at least the first comments that come out within like the first 15 minutes of the video, I tried to read them all. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So first up is Halle and DDG. Halle and DDG revealed that they did indeed have a baby. They welcomed their baby boy named Halo sometime at the end of 2023, and this was actually not shocking. To be honest, I feel like this story is milked like Halle's new mom breast because nobody was shocked at all. There were way too many signs, pretty obvious, and to be honest, I don't think it was a well-kept secret. I kept seeing people saying her friends and her family are so loyal and so down for not telling her secret, but what about her boyfriend and child's father? Because if it wasn't for him, I don't think people would have had enough hints to even hint at it at all. So I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think the secret was well kept. We obviously saw her pregnant, and there were a lot of moms who also resonated with her look and appeal over the last few months. She had on these baggy clothes, and let's not forget the picture of her seemingly walking out of maybe an appointment, or maybe she was just out and about. She looked very much pregnant. Like, this was when I was like, yes, sis, it is what it is. She also had the pregnancy nose, where your nose gets bigger or spreads due to, you know, gaining weight and other factors related to pregnancy. And she even addressed people talking about her nose, which to me was her telling on herself. And just the fact that there was never any firm confirmation or denial of her being pregnant let everybody know that she was. So let me first off start by saying that I knew that this was going to happen eventually, which is why I felt like it was honestly kind of unnecessary to keep it a secret for as long as it was, because you're going to have to answer to all of these people's speculations eventually. And the fact that both DDG and Halle consistently gaslit and addressed these rumors showed how indiscreet both of them are. I don't like how people are saying like, why are people so invested in somebody else's womb? Because obviously people are questioning it due to the fact that every other week either Halle or DDG made some type of comment, action, or gesture that alluded to her being with child. No one would have ever guessed this if it wasn't for both of them playing into the rumors, and I feel like it's not fair to social media users to be blamed for their interest. We all consume news just like the celebs do, and if Halle is irritated in any way, it should be with her man. He made this so obvious. I remember seeing him on Snapchat basically posting and showing her belly at one point, and I'm sorry, if the goal is to keep the pregnancy private, I wouldn't even be posting as much as they did. And that could then make it seem like there is something to hide if they would have just went off the grid. But I also feel like when you play directly into the rumors about yourself, you are also incriminating yourself and telling on yourself. Where are my Detroit people at? Y'all remember how V said, I ain't gonna tell on myself. These joints telling me to write a statement, I say go to hell. B, I'd rather go to jail. I'd rather pop a bar and wake up inside the holding cell. Halo. Now that's just a little ghetto Detroit music for y'all, and if y'all know those lyrics, message me because we on the same page, man. Shout out to Detroit and all of the subscribers that I met in Detroit on New Year's Eve. I went to Jerk and Jollof and had a good time, but I say this to say there's a lot someone can do to not tell on themselves, and they both did. So to announce this, Halle posted a picture of the baby's hand with a bracelet that says his name, which is Halo, and I love the name. I love how it's close to Halle's name as well. Celebrity kid names are always so neat, but she says, even though we're a few days into the new year, the greatest thing that 2023 could have done for me was bring me my son. Welcome to the world, my Halo. The world is desperate to know you. And Halle threw that shade at the end and called all of us desperate. Now, I do agree that yes, a lot of people were desperate and pressed the issue, but they can also take accountability about how they went about it. They wouldn't have been desperate if y'all didn't play games, try to cover it up, and flat out deny some things being said. But I do think Halle was right and even justified in keeping her pregnancy private, but I think whatever she was hiding from or trying to deflect from would have come and gone faster had she just announced her pregnancy. Nonetheless, it was her choice and decision, and I'm happy her baby came out healthy, and both of them seem to be very happy. The baby already has an Instagram page, which I really disagree with, being that if you were trying to protect yourself and your kid from people saying things about you on the internet throughout the pregnancy, then you're literally asking for more potential nonsense by devoting an arena for strangers to come and comment on and about the baby. Like, I don't know, the math isn't mathing on that one for me, because I'm trying to figure out the purpose of being private about the pregnancy, which people would have been like, oh, okay, we knew it, congrats sis. But then exploiting the baby when he is, I'm sure, not even a month old, and subjecting him to worse ridicule that comes with the internet, I don't know. And of course, they've been blurring the baby's face and more, but eventually people will know what he looks like. I don't know, celebrities are so nutty to me when it comes to privacy, because it's like they don't know how to be private. Kylie Jenner's pregnancy was, to me, even more of a well-kept secret than this, if you ask me, but DDG is a YouTuber, so there's really no surprise. I'm glad he's really a happy dad though, and this is a new chapter for him, but I just won't ever agree with kids, newborns especially, having social media pages. It's just too risky. So yeah, the cat's out the bag. Halle Bailey was indeed pregnant. DDG is the father. The internet been knew this info. Wasn't really a well-kept secret to me, and I really hope them and the internet shuts up about this now. I saw an interview where some podcasters asked DDG's ex, who is Ruby Rose, about her thoughts on the baby, and she was respectful about it, but I hate how they tried to be messy. Like, they tried to get her. They really tried her, and she handled it correctly. But let's stop milking this story, because it's like, this is the most relevant DDG has ever been. As stated before, I don't think DDG is a lame. I just think he's done goofy things and he's a red flag in many ways, but I pray that the baby does allow him to see the beauty, love, and respect that is needed in fatherhood and in his relationship with Halle. I also hope that the two prosper on. So congrats to DDG and Halle, and I hope parenthood is great on them. So the next story is about Baddies East on Zeus Network. This show is a show that was supposed to keep on giving but keeps on missing. Baddies is supposed to be a show about former cast members of Oxygen's Bad Girls Club that used to come on back in the day, and then also new baddies that are social media popular, and putting them in a house and taking them on the road to do meet and greets and club hostings. I'm not gonna lie, I think the concept is good. I don't mind watching a show featuring girls I see on social media, as well as ladies from Bad Girls Club, because we all used to love and watch that show, and watching them, quote, get a bag with the occasional drama, mishap, and even fun times, I don't mind that. I think that's a good concept. But it's like, for some reason, Baddies keeps missing the mark. Season after season. The first season was complete horseshit. Like, honestly, I wish they would just do that season all over, because that season was the only original Bad Girls Club girls, and I think that's what most viewers actually wanted to see. All these new faces that keep coming on the show are hit or miss. Some of the girls are cool, and then most of the girls are followers who think that they're more important than they actually are. The second season was Baddies South, which was a major upgrade from the first, with cast additions that showed a mix of former Bad Girls Club girls and then Zeus Network cast members as well. The third season, which was Baddies West, definitely turned things up, because again, it was a mix of Bad Girls Club girls and new girls who were known from social media or on other Zeus Network shows. And I think this was the mistake that Zeus made. Now, I am working on a Everything Wrong with Baddies on Zeus Network video, so y'all stay tuned for that, and I will get more into that in that video. But I think Baddies is going downhill, and this season showed it. I will say this, any TV series where you have to bring in a multitude of replacements and bring in people who are already friends friends or know each other is gonna cause what we're seeing here. So let's get into it. So Smiley is a cast member from Miami, Florida. I'm not sure how she got on the show because I don't think she was that known. I had never heard of her, not even on social media, but when I did go to her IG page, I did see that she has been posted up with a lot of celebrities, like from Kevin Hart to Moneybagg Yo to JT from the City Girls and even DJ Academics. She has been in those circles, so maybe she is popular and I just didn't know. And to those who are in Miami, shout out to y'all. I also had fun down there too, but do y'all know Smiley? Like, am I missing something? Not trying to downplay her, but I don't think she was known. And it's not just her. Like, who the hell is Anna Mac? Who the hell was Scotty before Baddies? Either way, Smiley's claim to who she is that she has black market connections, and she said she can get you anything she wants. I remember when she said that in her confessional, I was like, damn, do I need to have you on speed dial? I'm just kidding, y'all, but I was like, damn, okay. But then initially she came in and was beefing with Mariah Lynn. Something about Smiley snatching Mariah Lynn's chain and then trolling her on social media about her having her chain and pendant and taunting her to come get it back. So I think narcissist Natalie Nunn saw this as a way to capitalize off of someone else's beef, and the two have been going back and forth all season. Now, some of y'all don't even know who these people are, but Mariah Lynn was originally a cast member on VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York, and I've been stopped watching that show, but that's where she hails from. So Zeus is now also doing this thing of adding former cast members from other reality shows this season. So the two duke it out several times. The only way Mariah got her chain back was because in comes Suki Hana and her friend, don't even remember her friend's name off the top of my head, and they come in and basically jump Smiley to give Mariah her chain back because they felt Smiley was bullying Mariah due to their size difference. Now, I do think part of that is true. I don't know what made Smiley snatch the chain in the first place, as they never even had beef. They don't know each other. Mariah is from New York, Smiley is from Miami. What could y'all possibly beef about unless it's internet beef? So I do feel like Smiley was looking for her issue and she got her issue. However, at this point in time, the entire cast is using that initial situation to paint Smiley with one brush. So now that I done gave y'all the backstory, let's get into what's going on now. For some reason, they keep discrediting Smiley about everything. First, she had been hospitalized for having a miscarriage at the beginning of the season, and the way how they tore into her about that was very insensitive. I feel like if you think someone is lying about something serious, just keep it to yourself unless you have valid proof or a valid reason to doubt it. They did not have either. And I think for Rolly and the rest of the girls who just jumped to that conclusion, simply off the fact that they did not like Smiley or they were close with Mariah, just shows that they're all followers and bullies looking for an issue with her. So now we get to this past week's episode where Smiley suffers a seizure, and it was just difficult to watch. And the immediate response was so disheartening that none of the cast members even tried to believe her. No one really wanted to help her. No one even monitored her. And I really couldn't believe that an entire episode was spent on this scene. Check this out.
Now, are you sure only 3 shots? It wasn't even 3 shots. She thinks somebody might try to fight her, so she tried like she's doing her.
I thought this girl said she don't drink. She lies about fucking everything. I don't know if she drunk or not, but 3-4 shots do not do that to you, mama. I'm 5'1", 118 pounds, and 4 shots don't even put me on my ass. You a hefty girl, like, ain't no way you can't handle that liquor.
This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Oh my God, Smiley.
Smiley is now being rushed to the emergency room here in Ocho Rios in Jamaica. I'm so worried.
Hey! Smiley, why the fuck is she fake? Oh no, she's having a seizure. She's fucking fake!
So the debate about whether she faked the seizure or just faked the manic episode is so corny, so wrong, and so insensitive to me that I know the Baddies franchise is going to tumble. Mark my words. None of these women showed any care for someone who was obviously in distress. And like I said, the entire 45-minute episode was dedicated to this one incident, which means Smiley's medical issue went on for a long time. Who has the power, strength, dedication, and care to fake something for that long? Like, if it was fake, she probably would have been acting like that for like a few minutes, but for her to have to be carried into a wheelchair, she couldn't hold herself up. She also didn't react to the flashlight when it was shined in her eyes. She was vomiting on herself. She was seizing. She was incoherent. She was mumbling and screaming at some points. Like, there is no way that it was fake. I couldn't believe that Taseki would lead with that. And even the way how Natalie was talking to her, I was so disgusted. And the rumor has it that the reason why there wasn't an episode on the 31st, which was New Year's Eve, was because Natalie had complications with the way that she was edited. And I guess her and Zeus had to come to a middle ground before the episode went live. Either way, whatever edits they did not help Natalie at all, because she literally screamed at Smiley as she was in this very scary situation. Anything could have happened to her, and it seemed like no one cared because all they wanted to do was go to the beach, smoke, drink, shake ass, and be some grown-ass bullies. That's all I see. The anticipation and excitement that most viewers had for this season has gone down so much because they're so bold with how they're doing the girls that they don't like. But it's funny because the viewers are actually completely against the girls who think they are the fan favorites, aka Rolly, who now has over 100,000 signatures on change.org to kick her off the show. I'll talk about that in my next Baddies videos. My overall thoughts on this last episode was: 1, not everything needs to be filmed. They literally made this about Smiley, and Suki was right when she said this is now the Smiley show. 2, the girls show no level of sisterhood whatsoever. I don't expect all women to get along, but I do think when women issues arise, such as a miscarriage or a medical concern, there should be a natural concern amongst the ladies. It's disgusting to watch. Natalie yelling at Smiley was the worst she's ever looked on this show, and if that was the reason for the delay of the episode, then I can only imagine what they actually had to cut out. 4, Sky did not have to mush Smiley's face like that. If she thought she was gonna throw up, then just get up and stand up and move, or better yet, don't even try to help her because that was kind of random. And 5, Zeus Network, I'm telling you, count your days. This is never going to go over well. All I can really do is wait out the rest of the season. I saw the Baddies Caribbean post and I'm like, y'all are grasping for anything at this point. Look, Zeus, y'all need a full-blown remix of the platform. Y'all need more shows to balance out the nonsense. Y'all need new cast members. Y'all need new segments, and y'all need to listen to your viewers before it's too late. Now, our last story is Nicki Minaj dropped her highly anticipated album Pink Friday 2. This album had people pulling out their pink wigs and their thick asses, and I was ready. Let me start off by saying the marketing for this album with the Gag City concept was great. Like, I gotta give 10 out of 10 to the marketing A+, because it was everywhere. Everybody, every company, even people in companies that I didn't even think affiliate with Nicki Minaj were playing into the Gag City AI world, and I think the graphics were very good. It was like being in like a cartoon, and I really loved it. I really did like seeing it all over my Twitter and other social media platforms because it was something different. It was also very modern. I think Nicki Minaj's brand has always been pretty animated, pretty vibrant, and pretty. That's what she's known for, and I think the original Pink Friday album really set that in stone. So it was a tall task to repeat or replicate that formula from back then, being that we are living in a different era at the moment. Now, as it relates to the music of Pink Friday 2, which is what y'all came here for, I'm gonna be very honest. If I was to rate it, I think the album was actually pretty good. I think she did a great job. You know, I was even surprised. I just think the song choice didn't flow all the way, and I think the types of songs that were chosen were more reflective of where music is now versus what fans know Nicki Minaj for. When you look at the 2 songs that are the most popular on this album, which is FTCU and Everybody, those are not Nicki Minaj's best songs. Those are not lyrically embellished songs. Those are not hard bars. Those are not an extension of Nicki's full potential and talent. Those are really just club bangers. And I think because we're in 2024 now and the current state of music is really the production of it and not the content of it, the popularity of those songs reflect that. So I feel like the track list that Nicki put out does reflect the current state of music, which I think is more of a business decision than it is a personal decision. And I'm not saying that there weren't other songs that do reflect what Nicki can do, because my favorite song on the album doesn't sound like any of that, but I feel like this album was made to appease the time that we're in, and comparing it to the original Pink Friday is going to leave people disappointed because it just can't be the same. Now, the original Pink Friday did have the 2010s version of party music and fun music, if you want to call it that. I mean, Super Bass was like the biggest song on that album and one of the biggest and best songs of Nicki Minaj's career, but I still feel like Super Bass gave more than something like a FTCU or Everybody. Everybody has the Jersey Club, Philly Club, Baltimore Club, and I feel like if you're from any of those cities, it didn't wow you as much because you grew up listening to that sound. But to everybody else, that Jersey Club sound is kind of new to y'all, so of course it's like, okay, Nicki hopped on the wave and put out a song that matches with the popular sound in 2024. But if you're from Philly or Baltimore or Jersey, which I like to call the peanut butter jelly, the PBJ, if you're into PBJ music, and you heard that here first, nobody else has ever said that, okay? Then it's like, okay, add this to the classic arsenal of your favorite club songs, but it's not something that you haven't heard before. So I think marketing, A+. song selection, I'll give it a B-. And then in terms of track list, I think that's where the lowest scoring aspect of it comes in, because there were people saying that the track list was too long. I disagree with that because the deluxe version of the original Pink Friday had over 20 songs. So I was expecting there to be over 20 songs on Pink Friday too. I think what my biggest critique is, I feel like the first half of the album was giving exactly what I wanted, from range, different topics, different sounds. Some had more lyrical content than other, but then the second half of the album didn't really flow as much as the first half. And by flow, what I mean is, of course, there are great songs in the second half of the album. That's where you get Red Ruby Da Sleaze, which I think is one of her top songs, and Big Difference, which has gotten a lot of play from this album. But I feel like the songs on the second half of the album are not trending or as memorable as the songs on the first half. And before I started doing music, I never knew that there was like a rhyme or reason as to the order of songs that go on an album. But now I do know that all of these songs are specifically curated in an order. So I'm not sure why it seemed like the second half of the album felt like, okay, we're just putting these songs on here for more content, because I know Nicki has hella songs. So for me, I'm gonna give the track list a C- because the first half of it was cool, but the second half of it didn't do that much for me. The last thing I'm gonna grade the album on is production. So this goes for the beats of the songs and essentially the lyrical component of the song overall. Now, I would have to go song by song to give like real detailed feelings on each. I'm not gonna do that, but I do have my general consensus. I think Nicki Minaj is such an, again, animated and vibrant artist that really broke barriers, not just for female artists, but for rap artists in general. She's so experimental. She has such a distinctive voice that nobody can replicate. And I feel like she was made to do what she does, hence why I think she's one of the best. But I feel like the production of the songs overall also could have been a little bit stronger. I think when I was just a fan of music, anything could go for me. But now that I also do music, I'm a little bit more aware of different things, and she has it. But I want to see Nicki forget the idea of pleasing what is trending and just give us stuff that we've never heard before. I feel like for the most part, most of the beats on the songs I've heard before. And like I said, from a song like Everybody, that's a Jersey Club beat. I grew up listening to that. Even for FTCU, I feel like I've heard that beat before or something similar. I feel like if she diversified the producers that she works with, I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying. I don't think she did bad at all. I just feel like a lot of the sound is what I've heard before, even though the lyrics and the cadence will always be 10 out of 10 for me. I want to hear Nicki, but I want to hear Nicki on something different, because the songs that did stand out to me were Cowgirl, Forward from Trini, and R&B, which R&B is the best song on this album. That is one of the best songs that she's come out with in a long time. I listened to that song so much, I feel like I knew the full lyrics, the song, and even Lil Wayne verse and the Take Cobain hook within a day. So production, I'll give it a B-, C+, because again, there are songs on this album that I feel did exactly what I was looking for, but as a collective, some of it was to me things I've heard before. And y'all are gonna be bad at me, but I feel like it's easier for me to be way more honest about an artist that I think is the best, because I know what I've heard and why I think they're the best. Some other artists, I give them their praises because I know they can only do so much, no shade, no tea. I'm really anticipating the visuals. I feel like the visuals will help the album. Not that it needs it. I mean, it already broke records. She was breaking records like she was an Olympian, but visuals always serve as an asset to any record. So I can't wait to see what videos she puts out for each song. Overall, I rate the album a B-, C+. I'm trying not to be biased, but I'm also recognizing that there's really not too many people that can do what Nicki does. And holding her up to what is already out there, she does surpass most of the female artists that are actively putting out music. I do think with this album, I wish it wasn't Pink Friday 2, because I feel like Pink Friday, the original, was so iconic and obviously her best-selling album that to try to follow up that was a tall task. But I don't think she needs to play in the space of trying to maintain youth when she has evolved so much as not just an artist, but as a woman. I really did love the intro song, Are You Gone Already? Because it really set the tone that this isn't old Nicki. This is her in a different era. So this was Nicki's 5th studio album, and I feel like as someone who has been a fan of Nicki since like the first time I saw her, maybe elementary, middle school, I still think Nicki did a great job, because there were several songs that are still on repeat for me. But I think my biggest critique is that I wanted something more cohesive. People didn't like her rollout. I loved it. I don't care if she had to push her album back. I don't care that it was anticipated. I feel like it added to the anticipation, but I want to hear Nicki rap, like rap. I was looking for more pop songs too, and we didn't get as much of that. And I feel like with the original Pink Friday, the pop era was very monumental for her becoming even bigger as an artist. I do feel like Nicki is in her own lane, and maybe some fans will take whatever their faves give them, but I'm a fan who really sees her as the epitome of female rap music, so whether y'all drag me or not, this is just my opinion. I really wanted like a Roman's Revenge part 2, like just get on here and give me every bar you got. I feel like if there was gonna be a part 2 to anything, she should have just made part 2s to songs versus a second version to an album that was literally perfect, but I still enjoyed the project and I look forward forward to what Nicki has to put out in the future. I'm thinking about going to her tour show in Philly with my homegirls from high school. I think it's in March or April because I really want to see her perform this album. So we'll see if time permits. Overall, I like the album. I still thought there could be more. The track list was okay for me, but I know Nicki will come back with more in the future. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If y'all haven't already, please go stream my song Rich Auntie. The link is down below. I want us to get to 10,000 views on YouTube, and then I'm going to drop some more music. So if y'all want new music from me, we got to get it to 10K views on YouTube. Okay, y'all? Link and everything will be down below. And lastly, do not forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.
I said 24/7, we stacking, racking. I'm a bad bitch, you fraction, lacking. Counting bread while he playing Madden. I'm in the building, bitch, what's happening? Queen chime up here, satisfaction. I'm really a vet, these joints need practice. Running in circles around them, we laughing. QTM girls like camera action. Wanna book the girls, you need 1,000 Andrew Jackson.